our rather unusual webinar on laughter yoga. So I'm not here alone, though, and I'm going to introduce my two colleagues. But before I do that, I want to welcome everybody that's come on there. We've had over 250 people sign up for this. I think there's well over 100 of you online at the moment, which is brilliant. It's one of the best attendances we've had so far. I hope you really enjoy it. I think you will. I've seen some of Robin's sessions before, and I've never been disappointed. What I would like to do is, when we start, a few bits of housekeeping. First of all, we have had tech issues in past weeks to do with bandwidth, stuff like that. I hope and pray that doesn't happen today, but if it does, rest assured that we've got Yusuf in the back room, and he's going to be trying to get stuff back to normal straight away. We would encourage you to be using the chat, which is at the side of your screen. You can see everybody commenting there. Jane, another fabulous shirt. Thank you, Jane. Wait till you see Robin's. And then the other thing is, so put your comments in there, and if you've got any resources that you think might help, might back up what some of the stuff that Robin's been saying on there, put them up on there. I know our team in the back room, they're going to be putting up relative resources as well. So, in fact, they've just done one. Brilliant. Okay. But yeah, keep chatting. If you've got any questions, at the bottom, there is an Ask a Question button. We've got 4 so far, and we hope to be able to answer those questions either in the middle of the webinar, if it's appropriate, or at the end. So we will be done within the hour, but we do help to put a bit of time aside at the end for that. And that is that. Yes, next week, by the way, before we start this week's, do not forget that next week's webinar is at Friday, not a Thursday. It's at 2:00, and that's Demystifying Online Learning with me and Adrian Ryan, whom you're all familiar with. So, yeah, do join us for that. But now I'm going to introduce my two colleagues who are with us today. The first one is a ULR for PCS in DWP in Birmingham, but not just a ULR. She is the Joint Midlands ULR of the Year Award winner, and that is Herma Hughes. So, Herma, tell people about yourself.
Well, welcome all. Really pleased to hear there's so many people that have joined us today. I'm just coming out of bereavement, really, so if I get my words twisted or anything like that, please don't attribute it to what's going on today. I'm really pleased to now have my feet under the table once again. I've really enjoyed being a Union Learn rep, apart from being an ordinary rep, not ordinary, usual rep. I'm really pleased to be part of what's going on today. I hope today's event will be useful to everyone.
Okay, thanks a lot, Herma. I can see that the chat's really lively, but no matter how lively it is, I doubt it's as lively as our other host today. And this is Robin Graham from Feel Good Communities, who is our laughter yoga specialist. And Robin, I've seen you many times. I've seen you in many shirts, but I do think that one is the most spectacular yet.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. We're going to spend maybe 25 minutes doing some laughter activity, and then we're going to move on to understanding a little bit about what laughter is, why it's important, and how it helps us in our lives, and maybe 1 or 2 ideas about how we can actually use it for challenging or for difficult situations. This is the first of 5. After this, there'll be 3 smaller seminars, webinars with maybe 20 people each, and then another large one planned for about a month's time. So I've got my notes. I may keep referring to those. It says on my piece of paper, what are the session aims? So today the aim is we're going to laugh together. We're going to give our mind a little bit of a holiday. We're going to connect with other people. We know that lots of people are here. And if we know that we're all laughing together, it's a beautiful way of connecting. And if we laugh because of the physiology, which we'll talk about a bit later, because of the physiology, then what happens is we relax, and it brings us into the present moment. And the present moment is the moment that we live in. The present moment is the place where we find the greatest happiness. If we're totally engrossed and we stop going into the future, which is worry, and going into the past, which is regret, then we're happiest. And finally, the aim is to learn some sort of coping strategy. I started laughing. I started laughing when I was 4 weeks old, but that's a laugher's joke. I started laughing when I was 4, 5, 6 weeks old, but I laugh professionally when this man, I'll just show you a picture. He was my spiritual guide. He said we should stand on street corners and laugh. This was well over 20 years ago. So I started developing my ideas. His name is Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and he teaches yoga breathing and other things. But yoga, I will explain what the word yoga means, and just say that laughter is a specialized form of breathing. Yoga means union. So I just like us in a second just to do a body map, see how we're feeling now. And when we've done a body check, a scan to see how we're feeling now, we'll see if we're any different at the end. The idea is that we use our breath, and laughter is just a special form of breathing to bring our mind and our body into a state of union. I've known Matt for quite a few years. I am very grateful to Matt. It was through Royal College of Midwives that I got involved with the trade unions. I was a member of Equity. I am a member of Equity. I have been for many, many, many years. But Matt got me involved, and Herma. Thank you also to Herma for being a lovely host in the Midlands last year when I was running series of laughter sessions there. Union. Yeah, yoga, union. So we might think of yoga as doing funny stretches, and we'll do some yoga poses, but this is about using our laughter to bring our mind and body into harmony. The starting premise is, to a certain extent, we can be our own chemist shop. If we understand the physiology of laughter, we know that just by laughing or smiling, even if we pretend to laugh, we are going to lower our stress. We're going to raise our happiness levels. We're going to become healthier, and we're going to be happier because we are there in the moment, engrossed. So we can, to a certain extent, be our own chemist shop. And that's why we're doing this. We don't have to think or go to therapy or do anything like that. We can just laugh. And finally, a note on just look after yourself in this session. Laughter is very much part of life, but I do have to say that if I say, let's do something, and you think, no, that's not comfortable for me, either on a physical level or an emotional level, don't do it. But if you're not doing something, not joining in, be present with the laughter. Okay. So I'm just making a note there. Herma said she is had recent bereavement. Laughter is a way of letting go of stress. It's letting go of the outer layer. So I just say that when you've let go of that outer layer that's holding you here in the present, if anyone just feels they've got tears coming up, that's a very natural response, and has happened occasionally in laughter sessions. So here we go. I'm going to move my chair slightly back from my desk so I have a bit more room. Maybe you do the same. What I'd like you to do is just do a quick scan from head to toe. How are you feeling now? How's your face? How's your head? How's your thoughts? Are they coming and going, or are they quite relaxed? How's your throat and your neck and your shoulders? Often shoulders are a place where we store lots of tension. All the planes that go across the body, the diaphragm, the shoulders, good places to store tension. So we need to loosen those up a little bit. How is your hips and your knees and your feet? And just be aware of how you're feeling now. Okay, so it's time to begin. I just wonder whether we can smile at the moment. So I'm going to invite everyone just to close our eyes and imagine that smile. Imagine a smile bubbling up from deep inside. And it might be you have to help it with the shape of your mouth. You might have to force the corner of your mouth up a little bit into a smile and just see how that feels. And relax. And now observe your breathing. And I want you to take a a beautiful deep breath in very slowly and let it out very slowly. And in this state of deep breathing, I want you to allow that smile to grow on your face again. So as you breathe in, the smile will grow. As you breathe out, the smile gets even bigger. And if you're finding that's the case, that now we are breathing more deeply and slowly, and the smile is getting bigger and bigger, then that is the first of our proofs to ourselves that laughter and smiles are a good medicine. So we have to do two things to start with, which are ways of breaking up the laughter exercises. The first is a giggle jiggle. I mean, you've got to do a giggle jiggle. So just shake a little bit and have a little bit of a laugh, and that's our giggle jiggle with a ha 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 ha. Doesn't matter if it's a silly laugh or a pretend laugh. Ha 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 ha. That's just a giggle jiggle to loosen us up. And the other thing, in laughter yoga in particular, we have a way of expressing childlike playfulness. We clap once and go very good. We clap again and go very good. And then like a naughty little child, we go, yay! So what we're going to do that, we'll do that 3 times. So, okay, if you're sitting at home thinking, oh, there might be people who can hear me, this is your chance just to drop the inhibitions and just to go along with it and see how it feels. So here we go. 3 times. Very good. Very good. Yay. 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 And what you might notice with Herma and Matt is that when you give your 100% to this, it brings you into the present moment. It brings us into the now, and we end up with this big beaming smile on our face. So let's do 3 more very good yays, and then a giggle jiggle. Here we go. Very good yay. Very good yay. Very good yay. And then a giggle jiggle. Okay, so so what we're going to do, different people in the call will have different sorts of laughter, and some have a very small laugh, and some have a medium-sized laugh, some will have a big laugh, and some will have an enormous laugh. And what's more, this will vary from time to time. So what we're going to do is just measure out a small laugh, then a medium laugh, then a large laugh, then an enormous laugh, just to help warm ourselves up. So here we go. Just measure out, if you're there watching the screen, it's easy. Just measure out a small laugh with a ha ha ha, and then a medium laugh with a ha ha ha, and a large laugh with a ha ha ha, and then an off the screen enormous laugh with a ha ha ha. Very good, yay. Very good, yay. Very good, yay. Okay, so now we've agreed that people have different sizes of laugh. What we're going to do is we're going to do this. You do need to be away from the desk for this one. We are going to laugh down. We're going to have our hands in the air, and we're going to go ah, 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 ah. So after me, on a count of 3, join me, and we'll do the laughing down. 1, 2, 3, ah! Okay, so we're now going to do the opposite, which is laughing up. So we're going to start down here, and we're going to go ah, ah, ah. So let's do that 3 times with an ah. Now, one of the things which is really interesting, and you'll find this in yoga, if you have your hands down on your lap, or you have your hands up on your lap, it has a different feel to it. It feels different. The energy is different. There are all these subtle energies and energy channels in our body. If our hands are facing upwards, it feels more open. If our hands are down, it feels more grounded. So when we do that again, we'll do the laughing up and the laughing down, and we'll laugh up, see how it feels, then we'll laugh down, then we'll laugh up and then down, and we'll do it a couple of times. And just see if it feels different, laughing up and laughing down. So here we go. Let's laugh up to start with. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Ah! and down, and up again, and down again, and up again, and down again. Did they feel different? Maybe they did. Maybe, but this is again. This is all about us observing ourselves and seeing these energy channels and the learning for ourselves. This is a genuine learning session. So, what we're going to do is a little bit of warm up with our shoulders. We're going to bring our shoulders up towards our ears and let them drop with an out breath with an ah. But we're not just going to do an ah. We're going to do a ha. So shoulders up and ha, and again ha, and do another 12 and a half, getting a bit louder and a bit faster. Ah. So you might find, apart from not knowing how to do that last half, you might find that your shoulders are beginning to feel a bit looser, which is lovely. Then there's another one where we twist our body. Then when I do yoga, we call this a ha breath. So you slightly twist to one side and then you twist to the other side gently, going ha, and do that 5 times. Ha, 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 and then the other way. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, and relax. And then what we're going to do, we're challenging our inhibitions just a little bit with this, with the ones coming up. We're just going to wave at everyone. So just get your hands going and just wave at everyone quite vigorously, and it loosens up the wrists. And you can call out hello to people if you want. Hello. We can't do 150 people here, but hello. Okay, and shake your hands out and do a bit of a giggle jiggle with a. And now we're going to do a very serious yoga pose called the lion. For the lion, we need to get our claws up and we need to stick our lion tongue out. But because this is laughter yoga, what we're going to do is laughter roar at each other with a So on my notes, this is the point where I mentioned ego, because we might be thinking, I can't do this. This is very silly. We might be feeling various things about ourselves, about our ego, which is maybe inhibiting us. So as I said, we've got about another 15 or 20 minutes of exercises. So just enjoy, just see how they feel for you. And if you feel the ego come up, just laugh it away. The word ego is not just the word ego. And we can, I mean, maybe after me, you just say, I'm going to say that word ego a few times. Just copy me. So just after me, you say ego.
Ego.
Ego. Ego.
Ego.
No. Ego.
Ego.
So maybe we can use our laughter to bust our ego as well. So they say laughter is the best medicine. We've got a couple of exercises now to look at that. The first is, can we laugh ourselves happier? Just imagine for a moment you're not happy. I mean, deep down, we're all happy. But imagine just for a second, you've dropped your happiness in front of you and it's just there. But if you laugh, laughter is like a magnet and it'll draw the happiness back to you. So just look really miserable. And on the count of 3, we'll laugh ourselves happy if we can. 1, 2, 3. So we can laugh ourselves happier. How about healthier? I've just developed a cough. It was food I had just before I ate. I came on here. And some peanuts. That was a really silly idea. But let's pretend we're not feeling well. And then on a count of 3, we'll laugh ourselves healthier. So 1, 2, 3. we'll talk about the physiology of laughter in due course, but we actually do laugh ourselves healthier. And how about laughing ourselves less stressed? So just be really stressed for a second. And then count to 3, we laugh the stress away. Oh, I like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're warming up nicely. What we're going to do is just quite quickly but gently, we're going to write our first name with our right elbow. So if you write that quickly, your first name with your right elbow, and then your family name or your second name with your other elbow, which is the left one, isn't it? Oh, very good. Wonderful. So we're going right to left, which means, it's a reminder for me, what we're going to do is something called brain gym. Brain gym, it's not like saying on Star Trek, over, I don't know, beam me up, Scotty, or over to you, Jim. This is brain gym. It's like doing, well, you'll see. So we're going to do an exercise where you hold your nose with one hand, just the finger and thumb very lightly, and you tuck the other hand underneath, and you hold your opposite ear. It's easy, really. It's easy. It's so easy that we're going to swap and 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 swap.
Oh my God. I totally forgot my nose.
Very good. So that was easy. The difficult one is this one. You put your hand, oh, incidentally, yes, it does help wearing a bright shirt. It really does. Because if you're wearing a bright shirt, you feel the energy. And if anyone else sees you wearing a bright shirt, they respond differently to you as well. But anyway, so here we go. Fists out, loose fists out. Put the thumb up on one and the little finger out on the other. Yeah? That was easy, but not as easy. But it was still easy enough that we can swap and 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 swap. But we can't, can we? In all the workshops I ran last year, I think there were 2 people who could do that. And what happens when we can't do it? Do you notice? That you laugh? You can't do it and you laugh. It's not important, you laugh. But if we were taking it really seriously, we wouldn't laugh, and then we wouldn't sleep tonight. We'll be waking up in our sleep thinking, why can't I do it? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with anyone. But when we laugh, we just let go. And if we can't laugh, it's because we are quite serious and stressed. And maybe we can take some steps just to calm down and relax first. Okay, so I just wonder. If you imagine you've got 2 pieces of string, they are imaginary string. I want you to tie one to the corner of your mouth there and tap it. Just put it over your ear, and tie the other one to the corner of the mouth and over the ear there. And when you pull down on these strings, what happens is it pulls up the corners of the mouth like that. So just have a go for yourself. Okay. And then what you do is, I've got Herma on the screen. She doesn't know this. I'm going to reach forward to Herma. I'm going to pull down on her strings at the same time as she pulls down on mine. But reach forward and just pull down on someone's strings. Here we go. And then really quickly. Very good. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we've done lots and lots of warm up. We've done lots of pretend laughing and some real laughing. But what is the shape of the laugh on the face? So we're just going to do this, just in case ever you get up and think, I can't laugh today. I'll give you the 4 easy steps to build the laugh on your face. It's easy. First of all, we just curl up the corners of our mouth. Well, make your face straight and expressionless. And then curl up the corners of your mouth. And then, because laughter is an animated, energetic thing, raise your forehead, bring your face alive. And then you'll notice with real laughter, your eyes go small. So make your eyes go small. And then somehow we have to let some sound out. And the best place is the mouth. So open your mouth. The shape of the laugh. So what I'd like you to do is when I clap my hands, we'll make the shape. And when I clap them again, we'll relax it. So boring, but serious, straight face. Here we go. Last time. Wonderful. So we can make the shape, and then a laugh is just an out breath preceded by a huh. So if you like, whichever shape face you have, make the shape of your laugh, and depending on the shape of your mouth, breathe out with a huh at the start. So ha, he, ho. No, that didn't quite work. He, ha. Okay, so these are the sounds. The sounds of laughter is a vowel sound preceded by huh. Okay, so those are the sounds. So what we're going to do is just measure out one sound. Not measure it out. We're going to do one sound. So I will give you the sound ha, which comes from the heart. So I will say the sound ha, and then you say it. If there's anyone in the room with you or the cat, just say it to them, but or say it back to the screen. So here we go. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. Very good. Yeah, and all that sort. Okay, so, the next exercise is really quite a beautiful one. So what we're going to do, is we're going to again pretend that we've dropped our happiness, and that it's either on the desk in front of us or it's floating around in the space around us, and we're just going to pull in our happiness. So gather your happiness from wherever it is around you. Lots and lots and lots of happiness. And now hug it to yourself and just feel all that happiness. And you may have more happiness than you need just for you. So just think of someone or some people you'd like to share some happiness with. So my mum's in a care home, so I'm going to share some with her. And some other people who are special to me. So on a count of 3, I'll throw my arms open, avoiding hitting the window or the bookcase. And with a big laugh, I shall think of these people and I shall share the laughter and the happiness. 1, 2, 3. And let's do that again. Quickly gather in all our happiness, hug it to ourselves, feel the happiness inside. And on the count of 3, we will share it with people in the world, maybe with everyone in the world this time. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Oh, giggle, jiggle. Now, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but when I sneeze, usually the first time it's and nothing happens, and the second time it's and I'm really waiting for the sneeze, and the third time I sneeze. So we're going to do the laughter sneeze. So I've got my tissue ready. So we're going to do this together. We're going to pretend to sneeze, but nothing comes out first time, nothing comes out second time, and the third time we don't sneeze, we sneeze laughter. Are you ready? So take a breath in and nothing happens. And again, nothing happens. And this time we're going to sneeze laughter. Oh, dearie me. Oh, very good, yay. Very good, yay. Very good,
Very good, yay.
So we've got lots and lots of people on this call. We're just going to greet people. We just generally just say hello to everyone. Just say hello. Hello.
Hello.
Very good. Now say hello, you. Hello, you.
Hello, you.
And now I'm going to say hello, you glorious divine being. Hello, you
Hello,
glorious
divine being.
So this is bringing us onto the idea of compliments. And compliments are one of those things that we can give. It doesn't cost anything to give, but it makes us feel good because we've noticed something that we want to compliment on, and the person being complimented, hopefully it makes them feel good as well. Okay, so I mentioned ego before. We could talk through ego states, but ego is really, really interesting. It's something I'm investigating at the moment. And depending on how I behave and how others behave, we get into these different ego states. And as a result, we might feel bad or we might make them feel bad. But if we can tune in with a laughter and smile, what happens is it automatically relaxes us. There's something called the central nervous system, and there are two key states. There's a fight or flight state and there's a relaxed state. The fight or flight state is if, for example, we're going to take a child across a busy road. We want to be totally focused. So our energy's in the limbs, and we're there able to focus as we take them across the road. But once we're over the other side, we don't want to maintain that level of stress. We want to relax. So we want to come to the relaxed state. So stress hormones are associated with fight or flight. The happy hormones are associated with a relaxed state. And when we laugh, laughter is part of the relaxed state. Tears are part of the relaxed state. When we laugh, we go from fight or flight, stress, down to relaxed. Okay. So it's magic. And the happy hormones are called endorphins, which we get from exercise and pain. So if you run down to get a really hot, spicy dish from the restaurant, and then you eat it quickly and you burn your mouth, you've had exercise, you probably laugh about the experience, you release lots of endorphins. The next one is serotonin. Serotonin, let me have a look. Yeah, serotonin. I just wondered if anyone was called Sarah in the room. Serotonin is about doing good things for others. It's really nice, sharing, doing things for others, complimenting people, just being nice. That releases serotonin as well as laughter. The third one is called dopamine. Dopamine is about achievement. When you tap, you do that. Just give yourself a tap on the back for being here, and just a bit of a giggle with that. With and the other side, then we're possibly releasing dopamine in that moment. And then oxytocin is about relationships, and like you can have a relationship with a teddy bear. I've got this one here. This is my. It's meant to be a kangaroo, but it's become a masked marsupial, and it's fighting kangaroonavirus. That was my joke. That's terrible. That's why we don't do jokes. Okay. So those are released. We feel happier as a result of laughing. Okay. So what we're going to do is a very, very short laughter visualization. So I want you to imagine that you're sitting on the top of a rocket. Now, this is a very special rocket because it's not filled with fuel and so on. It's filled with laughter powder. And we're going to count down 5 down to 0. And on 0, with a whoosh, we are going to release this rocket, fire up this rocket. And we are sitting on the top of the rocket, and we are being pushed into space with a trail of laughter. It will fill us with laughter, and we go into the universe with laughter. So, and every now and then, I might refire a rocket by going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whoosh. So just imagine you're sitting on the rocket of joyous, happy laughter, and get ready to be fired out into the universe and to spread joy, happiness, and laughter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whoosh! Oh dear, oh dear. That is recommended for boring meetings. No, it's not. It's not recommended for boring meetings. But if you know someone else in the boring meeting who knows the rocket of laughter, and you just put your hand up slightly and you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whoosh. That helps sometimes in meetings. But don't say I said that. Okay, so let's close our eyes and just imagine, or do a body scan. How are you feeling now? Do you feel different from when we joined half an hour ago? Are your thoughts
Definitely.
slowing down? Is your face feeling different? Your throat, your neck, your shoulders, are they more relaxed? In fact, your whole body, is it feeling more relaxed? Maybe a bit warmer. Maybe you have a touch of an ache in your cheeks where you've been laughing. So if you feel different, then see if you can just in this second capture that happy feeling, that relaxed feeling, that joyous feeling, and just let that feeling shrink in size. Imagine it's the size of your entire body. Let it shrink in size and keep shrinking until it's the size of a giant marrow, a courgette, a runner bean, a pea, a pinhead. Let it keep shrinking in size until it is so small it's just the size of 1,000 cells inside your body, and then 100, and then 10, and 5, and 3. So it just fills 3 cells, 2 cells. It's now just all that love light, that laughter light, that joyous happiness is now just filling 1 cell deep in your body. And just feel how it glows with happiness and laughter and love. Just feel all that laughter condensed into that 1 cell of your body. And as you breathe, let that effect, that glow of laughter, light, and love expand. So it's not just that 1 cell, but it's 3 or 4 cells surrounding it. And with every out-breath, let it spread further and further. That feeling of deep love and laughter and happiness and joy that we can tune into at any time, just with a smile. Let it keep expanding. Let it keep expanding until it's the size of a grain of ground black pepper, finely ground black pepper, and then coarsely ground black pepper, and then a salt crystal. Let it keep expanding until it's the size of a haricot bean, and let it keep expanding until it's the size of a small satsuma, and let it keep expanding until it's the size of a papaya, and then a pineapple, and then a rather large watermelon. And let it keep expanding until that joy, happiness, love, and laughter and light is filling your entire body. And just allow, if you wish, a little chuckle to come out of your mouth, just in this moment. So that is our introduction, our physical introduction to laughter yoga. And in the introductory, in what was posted on the site before the session, there were a few questions that just seemed to be quite interesting to discuss. The first is, what's the physiology of laughter? And that's going from fight or flight down to relax. And the moment we do that, our body changes. The energy's in the body to make it healthy rather than in the limbs to fight or run away. The happy hormones are released. Our mind is clearer and we're more able to think. What does laughter mean? Does laughter mean happy? Well, it can do, but sometimes we know we laugh with fear or anxiety. We laugh with anger and sadness. So laughter is a language. It's just a way of letting go. But why do we think it means happy? Well, when we see a child laugh, a small child who doesn't yet know language, their expression of joy is laughter and smiles. But then when a child learns language and learns some other things, when that child's a naughty child, I hate to admit it, but I was small. I once put washing up liquid in my dad's cup of tea, hoping he would then breathe out bubbles, and it didn't work. And it wasn't enough to hurt him. It's okay. But as a naughty child, I was sitting on the stairs hiding and laughing, because laughter is a release of an excess of energy. So my naughty energy was rising, and then I couldn't stop but laugh. I couldn't help but laugh until I came back down to relax. This is why if you go to a funeral, you might get the giggles, because you're already quite stressed. There's already things happening in the environment that have pushed the stress level up above what's comfortable. And laughter just helps us to come back down. And when teenagers are laughing amongst themselves but won't laugh with their parents or with other people. It's because laughter is their way of releasing in a space where they feel comfortable. Laughter can express happiness, sadness, fear, anger. It can express any emotion, and we don't always feel comfortable expressing anger or fear or sadness in front of our boss or in front of our peers or our parents. So we laugh to release where we feel comfortable. But if I did something that surprised me, that shocked me, I might laugh. I might laugh because if that's my comfort level, my energy shot up there, my shock energy. So it might be, because I ask about appropriate laughter, it might be something's happened. And it's just caught me by surprise, and suddenly my energy's up there. Example: walking along a railway platform on a holiday. There was an elderly gentleman walking along with me. We were talking. It wasn't the best of railway platforms. It was being rebuilt, and all I remember is I looked round and he had gone, and he'd fallen down a hole a few paces before, and. Okay, it's not funny, but in that instant, you're shocked, confused, and all those energies are up there, and you laugh at someone else's misfortune. But if everyone understood that laughter is just a release, and if it's coming from the body and it's spontaneous, there's no intentional offense there, then we would maybe be in a society where we could let go more. If I can let go of my stresses and my emotions and be calm, then I can deal with what is facing me. You know, if I get angry at someone or I want to blame someone, this doesn't help. If something needs to be sorted, it needs to be sorted. And laughter helps me to remain calm.
Robin?
Yeah?
Rob, we've got a number of questions on here that I was wondering if you could answer some of them in particular. So I've been having a look at these questions. There's quite a few about the tech issues, which I believe the backroom team have been talking to people about anyway. I mean, I certainly haven't had any tech issues from my end, but these are laughter yoga specific questions. So Carol McGrath, or McGrath, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She says, how does yoga laughter relate to the chakras? And also, she says, for some people, laughing causes incontinence. How is this addressed? So could you answer those?
I don't know. I'll give it a go. Chakras are energy centers. Mm-hmm. And when we are in harmony, we're going to have our energy centers in harmony. Also, different energy centers have a different sound associated with them. So the E sound, the R sound, they will all be associated with different chakras. What we are aiming to do is to bring our whole self into a sense of balance and harmony. So I'm interesting question. I will see what I can find out before the next session about chakras. But to me, chakras, if I can let go and release all the if I can balance the chakras, then I'm fine for being in some state of union of yoga. Incontinence. So the laughter is a muscle relaxant. So yes, some people who live with incontinence may find. And it happened in a session. A lady had an episode where, I don't know what to call it. A lady peed her pants, and she said, "I've just peed my pants," and we all laughed. See, so she didn't have issues of ego saying, "Oh no, I can't tell anyone." If laughter helps us be authentic, then that's really great. It's one of those things. It is a muscle relaxant. Does that help? Does that give you?
Well, I think so. We've also got, from a health perspective, Fran has asked about people with lung or breathing difficulties and how that goes about. And I can't remember who it was, but there was a comment a while back. I'll see if I can find the name about people with physical disabilities and the exercises you did using your arms. Yes. So you may want to address that one. I'm just trying to find the comment as well. Reshma Patel, I think it was. Yeah, so thanks for that, Reshma. Yeah, and there was Sally had put, she says, I'm dyslexic and my coordination doesn't always work. Well, trust me, Sally, I'm not dyslexic. My coordination's all over the place. And I guess part of the thing with the laughter is it doesn't matter because it's not serious.
So those two in particular. So laughter is very much part of life, and whatever abilities we have, we almost always will find ourselves laughing. So if someone has issues with mobility or something like that, then, as I said at the very start, we do what we're comfortable with. The thought of laughter can bring about some of the physiological benefits as well. Pretend laughter can bring about some of the physiological benefits. So I would say we all do what we can do and what we're comfortable with, but just being in the sound of laughter, watching people around us laugh as well, and moving our body in some way will help. The man who invented and developed laughter yoga says motion creates emotion. So some sort of movement, it might be the very slightest of movement, or even the imagination, I don't know, imagining that we're moving is all fine. It's about really engaging with the playfulness, because that's the thing. If we laugh playfully, like at the very start, I said that when we are in the present moment, when we're engrossed in the present moment, that's the place we're happiest. And we will find that if we're doing something, whatever it is, we're playing sport or we're creating some sort of artwork, and we're really engrossed and we share it with people, we're totally engrossed when we're doing things. We laugh. It's part of what we're doing. So the coordination, the intention of this exercise and this exercise was that people get it wrong, and it's just to show us that laughter is a natural response to confusion. And if we're not allowing ourselves to laugh when we get confused, in a way, if our body wants us to laugh, then that's its way of letting go of the tension associated with it. If I was in a work situation and I'm told you've got to do this, and then it's all too much for me, and I'm stressed, I won't laugh about it. But if I'm in an office that understands, and I say, "Look, I'm getting a bit confused here," even just that in those words, I found I was just laughing. So laughter as a natural response to confusion and bringing us to a sense of calmness where we can deal with the thing causing confusion. Have I answered those questions?
There's one more, Robin.
Okay.
There's one more, Robin. It is, if you've got lung or breathing problems, how dangerous or difficult can that be for you?
Okay. So at the very start, we posted about have a look at the list of contraindications, and that will talk about the areas where you may have or you may be advised to speak to your doctor if you're really not sure. So people with asthma, for example, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but it can do. We are increasing our lung capacity. We are, when we are laughing, we're using our entire, visually speaking, we're using our entire lungs. Laughter is a short in breath and a long out breath. And if we were really laughing, it would be a So what we do is we're clearing out stale air. We are then taking in more air. We're using our lungs really well. So it may be that anyone who's not sure should just check with their doctor. There are people who come to laughter clubs who have asthma. If you have a chest infection and you're coughing a lot, then it's not a good idea. Yeah. But I would say everyone's situation can be a little different. So if you're not sure, just check with the doctor.
Right. Okay. First of all, this is not a question, but there's a number of people that have asked about, I missed the beginning, or, I want to watch this again. Can I watch it again? Yes, you can. We are recording this, and it will be posted on the Union Learn YouTube channel, and links from the Union Learn YouTube page. I should also say that if you like this, we have got more sessions coming up, but they are going to be different. They're going to be more like the ones that we've done in workplaces, because they'll be in like a Zoom meeting with about 15 people. So you'll be able to see everybody else, not just Herma and I, and it'll be far more interactive in that. So they will be coming up. We will be posting details for those on the Union Learn page. And of course, when if things ever get back to normal, and you are a ULR and you want to do some laughter yoga in the workplace, I mean, maybe Herma, you could tell us about how it went down when you did it.
Well, I've had several sessions, and by far the ones that were most successful, and I think Robin will agree with me, were those where staff weren't under any sort of worry about getting back to their laptops. So those that were in the job centres, where they actually have an hour in the morning on a Wednesday to just have meetings or whatever, and they allowed us to go in on those sessions. Those I felt were the most successful. The ones in the workplace where people are having to take time out, and sometimes at their own time, and we were under duress from a lot of outstanding work. Those were as equally successful, but staff were really under duress to get back to their desks. But I haven't found a session, except for one possible member that Robin might remember, where that individual maybe had other things going on in their mind, and although they'd come to the session, they just wasn't as participative. Do you remember, Robin?
Yes. We did some sessions in Lincoln, and the office manager said that before the sessions they were 30 days behind in their workload. They had a backlog of 30 days, but after like 1 month on, they were just 8 days behind. So a session in a workplace isn't just the laughter, it's much more about experiential learning, about laughter as language, laughter as response to chaos and confusion. And then we're running out of time, but I've got a list of techniques for dealing with challenging or difficult situations, which we will look at in the smaller sessions. And if there's one more big session coming up, then we will have maybe a little time
specifically
to look at some of those techniques. Someone in the chat
it may be better for one of the small sessions, but I think it was Virginia asked about giggling in important meetings. So if you can't answer that now, if you could cover that in a small session, that would be great. And there's also one thing that several people have mentioned in the chat is about yawning. Yes. And where does yawning come into it? Because a lot of them, several people have said that they've been yawning after the laughter. So is that related?
Okay, these questions are things I've not really thought about much. I mean, the reason we yawn, okay, we're taking in more oxygen. Maybe our body needs it. Maybe so. Can I look that one up and do some research on that? But I also saw that. I thought yawning also was about taking in more oxygen, but it might be. It's like when you let go of some emotion, you sigh. You just go. So the breath is the release, and laughter is just a special form of breathing, and it sort of all, I think, ties in together. Giggling in important meetings. If every workplace understood what laughter is, that it's just a release, then it might be in a meeting that you just got something in your mind, and the more you suppress it, the more your stress or your energy rises, until eventually it's just going to come out. But laughter is just a natural response, and laughter is what keeps us healthy. One of the main things, laughter is the best medicine. If we don't allow ourselves to laugh, then we're not allowing ourselves to release. So laughter is a good medicine, and rather than saying, oh, you mustn't do that, just understand it, and don't feel so bad. People who laugh at a funeral, the stress levels have gone up, and you hold it in, and eventually it comes out because you can't hold it in anymore. But if you just early on just said, excuse me, and you left, or you just turned away and you just giggled in your handkerchief, that laughter is just a release. It's helping us to be healthy and let go of what we're not needing to hold on to.
Okay. Well, that's brilliant, Robin. And we are running out of time now, so I'm going to try and draw this to a close. But before I do it, Herma, have you got any final comments that you want to say about the session?
Well, for me, this was a definite, thumbs up, because even as I joined the session, I don't know whether it was just the stress of knowing that I was going to be in front of people I couldn't see, but I had some definite sort of niggledy stuff going on around this area of my neck that has just lifted. And I'm not saying it's entirely gone, but it's definitely not as tight as it was at the start. So, and then I just really want to say thanks to all those people who through the chat have said hi, haven't seen them for a while. It was really, really, you know, uplifting to see some people that have joined actually know me.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks for that, Herma. Yeah, so we are going to draw to a close now. Thanks to everybody. You've been really, really active on the chat. That's great. It's been great to see so many people getting involved. We will be having the other laughter yoga sessions coming up next week on Friday, the 19th of June at 2 o'clock. It's Adrian, Ryan, and I with Demystifying Free Online Learning. So if you want to know about different free online learning opportunities, tune in then. Also, if you still want a bit more of laughter yoga and you can't wait for hours, if you go on, I think Robin's got a YouTube channel with, is it called Daily Giggle? Some little 2-minute exercises that are quite fun to try. So, yeah, those are good. And then that's it. Robin, any final words?
Someone asked about the training, so we can do the training. I can do the training online to become a laughter yoga leader. I'd like to thank Matt and Herma for being brilliant, because if it was just me on the screen, I would. Yes. Okay. And just look for the humor around ourselves. If we want, we can keep a laughter diary. Go out of our way to find things to smile about, because if we do have a little chuckle every day, then it's going to keep ourselves happier, healthier, less stressed. And I've set my alarm for midday every day, and when the alarm goes off, I just go ha 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 ha, and that's enough. But every day at 12 o'clock, I'm having a chuckle.
Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye. See you next week.
Thank you. Bye.